You guys, I was doing this video. It was so good and juicy, and I just hit like the close button and it deleted. Always something trying to distract. But it deleted the stuff that I was talking about. So what I basically was saying is that I felt like I did you guys a big discredit with the blood moon video. I feel like I had a big gap in information missing, and I also just had this instant need to just want to protect myself for some odd reason. Like, if the veil is going to be thinnest, my natural reaction would be like, I know a bunch of people going to be calling, conjuring on shit, so let me protect myself. Instead of me going, let me do this money ritual, get my paper right or something. I just had this instinct like, no, you need to do this. So I started looking up like blood moon rituals, or the importance of the blood moon, or blood moon in the spirit world. Came across some shit, you guys. Now, this is going to answer a bunch of stuff. Like, somebody had made a comment saying that they were wondering why these two people that got us friends all on YouTube, they were wondering why these people take the time to get to know us and teach us a lot of facts, and then come in for the kill and try to vamp us for our energy, and when I read this stuff to you, it's gonna explain why they're doing what they're doing. Man, all I gotta say is I apologize. I apologize for giving you that whack ass video with vague information in it. I appreciate the fact that nobody even went in on me on it. Like, hey, this is what this is missing. Because with 5 people that are learning, just like I had just learned what I'm about to talk about, there are 15 people that had already knew that are watching. So let me get into this. I don't want to do like some endless rambling or anything like that. This dude just passed by, you guys. He looked like Flavor Flav, this old ass motherfucking man hanging out his window with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, looking at me like that is just the best thing next to godliness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He looked like a piece of raisin. Oh Lord. That's what them gun ho Christians is. Ow, 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 ow. Grab me. Grab me. Let me stop. So, was a lot of people talking about this situation, like they're trying to figure out why things happen and why people are resonating with each other the way that we are, and how we were on the same wavelength as these certain people, and then we learned what we needed to learn, and then the people basically left us alone or whatever, and then tried to hit us in our sleep and vamp us from all of our energy, or come tiptoeing around your house, or just spying on you, or you feel like somebody's watching you, or you waking up out of your fucking sleep. Like, what the fuck? Or you're just tired and you don't understand why you're fucking tired. It's them. It is them. So you didn't even give that shit any energy. Take a fucking nap. Get you a healing bath. Make sure you get off your ass. Do your healing bath. Make sure you have your feng shui in your house. Charge your fucking crystals. You guys, put y'all crystals in the window, because I'm about to tell you something. You're going to need those crystals on the 15th. Let's get into it. So this website is called the Spiritual Research Foundation.org, and it talks about the meaning of the eclipse at a spiritual level, the spiritual significance of an eclipse, a spiritual perspective. So the definition of an eclipse is an astronomical event that occurs when one object in the sky moves into the shadow of another. The term is most often used to describe either a solar eclipse, i.e. when the moon shadow crosses the Earth's surface, or a lunar eclipse, i.e. when the moon moves into the shadow of Earth. And abstract, I have to look behind me. I gotta make sure don't no animals be creeping up on me. Because animals like me. I don't know. Abstract eclipses are significant events at a spiritual level. There is a increase in Raja Tama, and I'll explain to you what that is, which has negative effects on humanity. Those take advantage of heightened Raja Tama to create a variety of issues that have global negative repercussions. Regular spiritual practice ensures that we are that we are insulated. My neighbors are stupid. They just don't stop and just like, hey. That we are insulated from its subtle, intangible, harmful effects. So basically what they're saying, to break it down, that there are scientific facts that things happen on a molecular level that they pick up frequencies and low negative frequencies at a percentage due to the fact that they have these eclipses, and depending on what type of eclipse it is what type of energies you're going to draw in, and how these eclipses, one is either natural and the other one is caused by lower entities. You guys, like, I didn't even think, like, my mind wasn't even going there. It was just like, protect yourself. Like, now I'm reading this scientific research. All I can say is I shade to that. I'm happy. Like, I'm happy that I can learn this and share this with you. So, an abstract eclipse is significant events at a spiritual level. There is an increase in Raja Tama, which has a negative effect on humanity. And I already read that, so I just wanted to go over it again. To understand this article, you will have to be familiar with Sattva, Raja, and Tama, the three subtle basic components of the universe. So I'm going to break that down too. We just getting into this blood moon, so y'all can make sure that y'all take notes so that you know what it is that y'all need to be doing. Like, if you need to remind yourself, use your cell phones, use whatever you need to do to put some stickies on your forehead if you have to. I'm just giving it to you, you guys. I'm giving it to you. So we're about to break these little leeches. They're going to have to start all over again. They're going to have to find a whole new group of motherfuckers, and people ain't even going to hear them, because I'm going to get into all of that in a minute. Now, let me check my cam, make sure I'm going with the wind. Fabulous. Anyway, every year, this is the introduction to the research. So every year we witness a number of solar and lunar eclipses that are either partial or total. The visibility any given eclipse is usually limited to some graphic area on Earth. Viewing an eclipse generates much interest in the wider community, and this prompts us to also understand if there is a spiritual or subtle, intangible significance to it. We conducted spiritual research to understand the spiritual significance and the effect of the eclipse on mankind. Type of eclipses. The first thing that came to light through spiritual research is that physical, apparent to our eyes, the eclipses that we can see, as mentioned above, are not the only type of eclipses. There are subtle, intangible eclipses too. So basically what they're talking about is in another plane of existence. There are these eclipses that in the spiritual is happening, but you can't see it in the physical plane. Okay, these subtle eclipses are caused by the powerful ghosts, demons, devils, negative entities, etc., called subtle sorcerers or mantrix. That's the scientific term for this stuff. Mantrix. MANTRIKS. And from the 5th to the 7th region of hell by the use of their supernatural powers, and are only apparent to those with an advanced active sixth sense. Powerful ghosts create subtle eclipses by creating a barrier of subtle black negative energy between either the gross physical sun and the earth, or between the subtle sun and earth. So they create a physical eclipse, or they create an eclipse in the spiritual plane that only psychics, intuitives, and people that can see things walking around that most people don't see, they know it and they see it. So powerful ghosts create a subtle eclipse by creating a barrier of subtle black negative energy between either the gross physical sun and the earth, or between the subtle sun and the earth. Every heavenly body that we can see, such as the earth or sun, also has a subtle body. So these scientists are even admitting that there is another earth. Check that shit out. This is akin to the subtle body that a human has that envelops the physical body. To refer to a section of the subtle body, this is what we composed of. So then they have like the sun deity, and then in between that is unmanifest, absolute cosmic fire element, and then under that is manifest, and then you have the physical sun, all the stars and the lights of the universe, lightning, fire. And that's how they break down all the elements in a scientific way. Sorry, I gotta switch my legs up. I gotta stretch. So, let's get back to business. The physical and subtle sun are governed by the sun deity. The sun deity is that aspect of God, controls the functioning of all the suns and other stars in the universe. The sun deity in its source form is unmanifest. The sun deity manifests through the absolute cosmic fire principle, and it's Tava. I may be saying that wrong. And materializes as the sun we see in the sky. So they're saying that our energy basically is making this, and God creating the stars and all this stuff, this one being. Lightning and earth on fire. All living beings are dependent on the sun, as one of the sun's deity's main functions in the universe is to provide light and radiance in the universe. So if you listen to what that last sentence was saying, is that everything that is living needs the sun. There are a subtle eclipse on the moon too, but their impact on the universe is much less compared to that of a solar eclipse. By creating a barrier between the sun and the earth, the subtle sorcerers interfere with the function of the sun and hence increase the Raja Tama on earth. Out of all the eclipses that take place, 70% are subtle eclipses and 30% are physical eclipses. Mankind, including the best astronomers, are only aware of 30% of physical eclipses. Thus, humankind is in total ignorance about the subtle eclipses. Only people who are above the 50% spiritual level and with an advanced active sixth sense can perceive the presence of a subtle effect on the subtle eclipse. The average person cannot perceive the subtle, intangible effects of the subtle eclipse. The negative impact of the subtle eclipse on mankind is 9 times more powerful than that of a normal physical solar lunar eclipse. Spiritual significance of an eclipse. So now I'm about to get to why it's so important for us to have this information. Spiritual research has shown that the case of all eclipses, there is a rise in the Rajatama and a reduction of the Sattva component, I guess. The rise in Rajatama has many detrimental side effects as a subtle, intangible level, which may not be noticeable in the physical plane initially. However, these Rajatama laden conditions are made use. Oh, almost dropped my shit trying to scratch my back. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. So they use this dark energy. They're used by ghosts to harm society. So, due to the sun being obscured by a subtle barrier in front of the gross and subtle sun during an eclipse, there are 2 significant spiritual impacts. The environment becomes conducive for negative energies to amass black energy. Black energy is the type of spiritual energy that is a primary weapon of attack by ghosts. The environment is most conducive for negative energies to utilize their black energy to harm humankind during the period of an eclipse, as well as to sow the seeds of destruction of humankind. And then they break it down, and it's like, refer to section 4.4. Y'all want to read all that? I'm going to leave the links for you to go into all of that. Why is there an increase in Rajatama with an eclipse? The increase of Rajatama happens due to 2 reasons. In the case of a physical eclipse, the reason of increased Rajatama is due to the fact that during an eclipse of the light from the sun or the moon is obstructed even before it reaches Earth. The darkness is abnormally in the general circle of the day and night, wherein a period that should have been light is now darkness. In fact, the spiritually detrimental effect of the phenomenon of night is equivalent to just 2% as that of an eclipse. So they're saying that if certain things are happening at night, that's just 2% of the mass things that can be happening during the time of an eclipse. This is insofar as negative energies abilities use the darkness and its resulting increase in Rajatama to harm society. The case of a subtle eclipse is a higher order of ghosts. Creates black negative energy barrier between the sun and the earth, and also directly attacks the subtle sun. This obstruction again causes an increase in Rajatama. Why do solar eclipses cause it? And then I can get into all of that, but you guys need to refer to the site, click on the link, find the link, look on the site, and look at these graphs, and then they refer to everything. So what they're saying is the average day is 27% Sattva or whatever. Raja is 31% and Tama is 42%, and that equals 100%. So then when they say the eclipse, it's 30% partial, 50%, and 100%. And that's the type of eclipses. And then a solar eclipse, 5%, 8%, 10%. A lunar eclipse, 4%, 7%, and 9%. How long does the effect of an increased Rajatama form an eclipse last? Now, the Rajatama increase during an eclipse has a residual effect that subsides over many months. Into the chart below, we have shown how long the excess Rajatama generated in the partial eclipse of 30% takes subtle or whatever. And then they have these graphs, and it breaks it down, and it tells you, like, depending on the type of percentage of the situation that it is in, those energies are in, it can be up to 4 weeks, 3 months, 5 months, or maybe years for certain people. So repercussions of an eclipse, the maximum subtle impact of an eclipse on humans depends on where it is most visible. The more visible it is, the greater the subtle impact on people in that region. Thus, if an eclipse were to be the most visible in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it would have the least subtle impact, and it is minimally populated areas. It would be like islands or something nearby. During the eclipse period, the power of distraction energies increases by 1,000 times as compared to those of other times. This is because ghosts harness the excess Rajatama generated by the eclipse to amass black energy, either utilizing the conditions to do more spiritual practice to gain negative spiritual black energy, or by stealing the spiritual energy of seekers of God. Black energy is spiritual energy which is used to harm society. The following is a drawing based on subtle knowledge that shows how black energy is correlated. So they break it down, you guys. They fucking break it down. What happens during an eclipse, positive and negative regions of the universe. And then they have a graph for that. Now, they're saying what explains. Okay, so I'm going to skip. No, I'm going to just read it. The above subtle vision explains what happens at a subtle, intangible level during the eclipse. In subtle negative regions of hell, higher order ghosts, demons, devils, negative energies, etc., called subtle sorcerers, i.e., in the second region of hell, downwards, make use of the increased Rajatama during the eclipse to do spiritual practice like sacrificial fires or meditations to harness black energy. The black energy generated by various subtle sorcerers flows towards the seventh region of hell where it is stored. These flows of black energy are all interconnected. In the subtle positive regions, the subtle bodies of sages are engaged in meditation. Divine consciousness flows from the higher positive regions to combat the increased Rajatama. So they're basically saying that you can fight this negative energy by meditation, and then they break down other things that you need to do during these times, and it's a scientific proven fact. Thus, subtle battle between the forces good and evil ensues on the Earth's plane. And the impact on the individual level at the time of an eclipse, people are more likely to be affected by their departed ancestors. And remember, I said something about that's a time when you can contact your ancestors. In many cases, departed ancestors create problems in their descendants' lives. Due to this, departed ancestors take advantage of the excess Rajatama and the heightened black energy created by ghosts at the time of an eclipse. Why would your departed ancestors trouble you? For it is for a reason. People may experience lethargy, like, just being tired or lazy, sickness, etc. At a physical level. At a psychological level, there are excess emotional and negative thoughts, so especially about spiritual practice. So you'll have these negative thoughts like, I shouldn't do this shit, it's not working, am I crazy, what is wrong with me, am I giving up everything going into this new stuff and learning these new things, what am I doing, maybe I should go back and just say some prayers and just put it in God's hands and just sit there and hope that one day something's gonna change. So back to the article. The moon is known to affect the mind. During the full moon, the effect is even more pronounced. That's why most people will talk about how rituals usually happen and are better to do on a full moon. Prayers, whatever you want to call it. The further accentuated when there is a lunar eclipse. Thus, the combination of a full moon and a lunar eclipse is severe. However, it happens at a subtle, intangible level, i.e., people suffer distress by negative energies. So you're either waking up out of your sleep, you're having trouble sleeping. Hold on. I'm trying to rest my arms, you guys. Alright, you're either having trouble sleeping, or maybe at a certain emotional level, old memories are coming back, or you just find yourself fucking angry for no reason, or I say no reason because it's probably something that was bothering you a minute ago, and then it sneaked back on you and you mad again, like just those type of energies that are coming in, being sneaky, being on some sneaky shit, trying to trick you into lowering your vibrations. Okay, so there is a scientific fact that there is a decline in decision making, like the captivity, like to be able to make wise decisions or make any decisions whatsoever. You just find yourself doing stupid shit. You'll be like, why did I just do that? Why did I just deal with that? Why did I just talk to that person knowing that that person did that to me, or whatever the situation is? So the intellect is also affected. The impact at a level of humankind, as mentioned earlier, ghosts, excess Rajatama generated by an eclipse to collect black energy. They use this black energy to harm mankind in various ways. They do this by sowing seeds of destruction and harm. So something may not happen right away, but some shit may happen where it just builds up and over time just blows up. Situations like that where you find yourself looking back like, wait, this little thing, I noticed this little thing and this little thing, now I got this big ass problem and I don't know where and how it came into my life. Just things like that. Alright, so sowing seeds of destruction. So we're gonna get into the comment that somebody had made about the YouTube thing, where these two people are basically taking people's energy and vamping people's energy, and then all of a sudden they're making negative comments on people's pages, or talking shit, or just being very disrespectful, period, and sowing seeds of destruction. Just starting some shit where everybody's mind is not on the next subject that we need to be learning to prepping ourselves for such and such. Instead, we're talking about what such and such said and what such and such is doing on their YouTube channel, instead of just fucking sticking a fork in it and just leaving it at that. I find myself getting involved in that stuff too, and we've we just gotta cut it out. Just stop talking about the motherfuckers. And when somebody new comments, you know, if we don't comment back, if we're not like, oh yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah, that motherfucker said this and that. You know, don't think that we don't care. It's just that we're not going to put any more energy in that fucking BS. So let's get back to the eclipses. The eclipse contributes in a large way by providing circumstances conducive to amassing the black energy that ghosts have. In our article Armageddon, we mentioned that the world will go through a World 3. Like, their scientific theory, they think that we're going to go through a war or a bunch of natural disasters, and they don't know which one is which, and it's going to be in between the years 2015 to 2023. I'm gonna cancel that shit because that's not happening in my life. That ain't happening up over here. All right. Blink Adam went out. It will be accompanied by an unapparent loss of human life. The main catalyst at a subtle, intangible level, the World War III, will be because of higher level ghosts, like higher level entities. We talking about things that are related to the Watchers, not them lower beings, not like little flies and little fucking shit scaring you at night or whispering shit in your ear. We talking about the fucking big dogs, the generals, the motherfuckers that's putting evil shit in dictators' minds and coming up with technology where the U.S. got fucking flying saucers and all kind of dumbass shit, things like that. So, an example would be sowing seeds of pandemics, of contagious diseases, and sowing seeds of Third World War. Well, I'm gonna cancel that right now. That's not happening for us. That's not happening over here. That's not happening in our plane of existence. We have a calling, so I don't know about everybody else, but to the conscious, that's not happening. So cancel that. Eclipses continue in a large way, providing circumstances conducting to amassing the black energy that ghosts will have. In the I already read that. Talking all that shit and get lost. Okay. In the present era, they're saying strife, like things like that. Universal world goes through clinical stages of destruction caused primarily due to excess Rajatama. The Rajatama on Earth having reached a peak between the years 2002 and 2012 has primed Earth for a spiritual cleansing period. And a lot of people have mentioned this in their videos. A lot of people keep saying that secrets is about to motherfucking come out the closet. People are about to discover new things about themselves. People are going to wake up out of the spells that they have been stuck in for years and years. And this is the time for that to happen. And during that course of those things happening, you're either going to handle it in a positive way or it can go in a destructive pattern. You know, we already know that. People's actions, we mean prominent evil deeds of humankind. Refer to section, blah, 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 the basic components of lifestyles. So, these are the do's and don'ts to minimize the negative energy and the effects during the eclipse. The do's, spiritual practice helps to nullify the effect of increased Rajatama and black energy in the environment due to an eclipse. So if a person is doing intense spiritual practice as per 6 basic principles of spiritual practice during an eclipse, he will be affected by adverse spiritual effects of the eclipse up to 20%. So that means that you can increase your 6th sense by 20%. You can increase knowledge, things that were hidden from you, by 20%. Something is going to increase by 20%. However, to counteract the rise of Rajatama and black negative energy, the amount of divine energy from God that can be accessed by him is 50% more. Thus, the net total is a positive 30%. So out of 100%, only 30% of that energy that's going to be open during the eclipse is going to be positive, what they're saying. Don't plan important functions. All actions and thoughts come under a preview of the subtle basic components, i.e. they're either blah, 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 or a combination of them. They break down these different spiritual, like, negative energies, and I'm going to get into that. Or a combination of them, Rajic, Tasmic, all good and auspicious actions are this scientific stuff, man, make me want to sleep. I'm trying to get to the good stuff. As a lot of Rajatama frequencies are transmitted during the eclipse period, good actions done during this period do not yield expected results. Hence, it is advisable to avoid all important actions, important business deals during this eclipse period. Reduce Rajatama in your activities. Avoid doing things like sleeping, going to the toilet, having food, sexual intercourse, because those are all Rajatama prominent things, and only leaves us more vulnerable to getting affected by departed ancestors and ghosts. So I don't remember what time the eclipse was supposed to start, but you can always go to NASA, you can always go to stargate.org, or you can always look it up. Lunar eclipse, blood moon on April 15, 2014, and it'll pull up all the information that you need to know. Avoid eating. Do not eat during this time. If y'all can't not eat for a few hours, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I know I'm gonna probably be hungry, but shit, I'm gonna be on top of my stuff. I'm about to be on top of my A game. I'm gonna have my copper cup and just be sitting there like, bring it. Bring that shit. Bring that shit over here if you want to. Don't bring it. Do not bring it. During the period of eclipse, it affects your food and digestive process. Hence, it is advisable to avoid meals during this period. The time period when we should avoid meals depends on the type of eclipse. This is because the amount of sunlight or moonlight reaching the earth depends on the percentage of area of the sun or moon covered during the eclipse. The amount of time to avoid meals. So if it's a total eclipse, they're saying 12 hours prior to the onset of the eclipse. So eat y'all stuff during the day, drink plenty of water, and get your water game up, but just don't eat 12 hours prior. You know, wait for that shit to be over. Do what you gotta fucking do. I'm sorry, I'm swatting animals away. During the moonrise, the moon is going to be eclipsed. Then one should not have food previous 2 hours. 12 hours, I'm sorry. 12 hours. Okay. So just remember, like, just don't eat during that time period. Count 12 hours before then. Most people would try to be in dream time and astral project. I suggest, and my suggestion is, get your ass up, rest during the day, and get your ass up. Because I'm going to be up. I'm about to shut it down. I ain't playing. I'm not playing. So anyway, so the Rajatama is a fabric of creation, unknown to modern science. They're living and non-living, tangible and intangible things. The vibrations emitted by anything are dependent on its predominant, subtle, and basic component. This also influences the behavior of all things. The portion of these components in human beings can only be charged by spiritual practice, changed by spiritual practice. I'm sorry. So the definition they're giving you, according to modern science, the universe is made of basic physical particles. I'm staring in the sun, you guys. I know I'm not standing on no sand or pure dirt, but it still helps. It still opens your eyes. The sun is setting. It's so beautiful. And my eyes adjust. So, let's see here. At a spiritual level, however, the universe is made up of something even more basic. These basic particles are known as the three subtle basic components. And then they say Siddha is it's the society and motives. Raja lives more in personal gain and achievement. Tama has no problem about stepping on others' toes to get ahead and or harming society. So and those things all together changes how you react to situations, making decisions, making choices, and how you live your life. Now, they even measure the components. They give you the wavelengths of it. They break down the components of 5 cosmic elements, and how those things, like the sattva is uses 10% of the earth, 20% of water, 30% of fire, 40% of air, and 50% of ether. Then they tell you like what humans are composed of, either absolute earth and absolute water principles. As individuals start to evolve spiritually, he or she starts functioning at a progressively higher level, like the absolute fire principle, etc. This is characterized by a sense of radiance emanating from a spiritually involved person. As this happens, the spiritual's basic needs to begin to decrease, such as in the need for food and sleep. So, you know, a lot of people think that because they ain't getting no sleep at night, that maybe it's because they're being hunted by this guy who said he gonna get the 80%, or this person or this witch. It's also because the more that you study, the more your third eye is open, and at certain times there is a lot of activity going on in the spiritual plane, and your natural reaction to defend yourself in a defensive mode is going to be to wake up. And also they're saying that there's scientific facts, and they in their studies they've proven the more sixth sense aware that you become, the less sleep and the less you eat. And I find myself eating one time a day with people around me starving and angry, or me sleeping for like 2 hours and then I'm just up, and then I find myself working on my music just like until the fucking sun come up, and then after the sun come up I am slicing up fruit and breakfast and getting lessons and stuff ready for the day, because I homeschool. You know, I took my shit serious. I am not playing, you guys. Let's get it together. They talk about natural disasters, all this other stuff. They break down the body, and they tell you where your intellect, chakras, and everything is. They tell you where all of that stuff is. They break down the percentages, and they tell you the types of proportion of the 3 subtle basic components in relation to the spiritual level. So basically they're saying your spiritual level and your spiritual practices, you'll be at 100%, 90%, 80%, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, and then it drops down to like the mundane, the dummies, like the people that are sheep, baba sheep. You know, they don't know what the fuck's going on. Let's see. And a guru is basically at 100%. They have footnotes. They tell you all kinds of stuff. You just gotta really look at it. They tell you about your food and the things that you eat and how that breaks down your body at certain molecular levels, the colors, what those colors vibrate at. They have right here white, yellow, and blue, and then they have red, crimson, green, and violet, and those are the different types of energies that you're bringing in. They talk about the natural fibers in your clothes, the type of music, hymns, and songs your ass is listening to, movies, books, company you keep, and your marriage, your partner, the person that you're fucking sleeping next to at night. So as far as these ghosts and stuff go, they're talking about there's ghosts in the absolute water element. There are drawings based upon subtle knowledge of how ghosts energies and all this stuff materializes in the water when it appears to be viewed through a medium or highly developed sixth sense. It appears whitish, transparent, and flowing in a single direction, ghost-like, and then they break down the kind of ghosts that be fucking with that, and then they'll tell you about fire elements and the things that come from fire elements, and then they'll show pictures of the shit if you want to entertain that stuff. What my suggestion is when you're going into this stuff, and if you're Christian or coming out of that or still stuck in between that stuff, I don't suggest that you look into any of that stuff and give it energy, because you basically want to know where those things are coming from, and you want to think from a logical perspective before you just turn around and start assuming, oh, that's black magic. Then you just created some shit in the spiritual plane, and your ass is gonna have some black magic problems when you're in dream time and you're laying down at night and your eyes are closed and your mind is open. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? They tell you about the type of ghosts that affect people, and I'm gonna go into that and I'm gonna study that a little bit later. But what my plans basically is gonna be is to do exactly what they said. I'm sorry, you guys were looking at my mouth the whole time. I couldn't even see that. My plans are basically to protect myself. I ain't trying to contact shit because I ain't trying to be tricked by nothing. I'll say my prayers and say, you know, I need to be protected. I need my gate around me. Angels, spread y'all wings around me and protect me. I already got my house in order. I'm not playing with that, you know. So I'm thinking about like maybe trying to juice or something that whole day, and eat my ass off. And then, you know, 12 hours before the eclipse, be sitting there like, Hotep, you guys. I love you.